The dawn mist lies heavy over the English Channel. It is late July, 1588. The sea is calm, gray and endless, a mirror reflecting the fate of empires. From the southern horizon, the Spanish Armada advances like a forest of masts. 130 ships, vast, creaking galleons, glide in solemn formation, their sails swollen with wind and faith. Each ship bears saints painted on its stern, and cannons lined like teeth along its decks. The morning light catches on their banners, crimson and gold, holy and defiant. The air trembles with the sound of drums and prayer. They sail not merely to conquer, but to restore what they believe is divine order, to bring Catholic Spain's might against the defiant English crown. But just beyond the veil of mist, something waits, something that does not belong to this century. A silhouette of steel, angular, silent. Its hull reflects no candlelight, no human craft. Inside hums a power beyond the wildest dreams of alchemists. Turbines whirring, circuits alive, radar screens pulsing in electronic rhythm. A modern destroyer, a ghost of the future, drifts quietly in the 16th century sea. Its sensors detect the Armada long before human eyes could. Its captain, bound by confusion and disbelief, observes a fleet that should not exist. Cannons of bronze against guided missiles. Oaken decks against titanium hull. Wind against precision engines. The sea remains calm, unaware that history itself has torn open for a moment, to ask one impossible question. If a single destroyer from the modern world faced the might of the Spanish Armada, what would happen to the balance between time, technology, and destiny? The year 1588 stands as one of Europe's great crossroads. Empires were not yet measured in factories or machines, but in wind, timber, and faith. Spain ruled an empire upon which the sun did not set. From the silver mines of the New World to the cathedrals of Madrid, wealth and religion powered its ambitions. King Philip II sought to humble Protestant England, whose daring navy and rebellious queen, Elizabeth I, had defied him too long. The Armada was the mightiest fleet ever assembled. Over 30,000 men, thousands of cannon, hundreds of galleons and armed transports. Each ship carried soldiers, priests, and a belief that God himself favored their cause. Against them, England's smaller, faster ships relied on maneuver, fire, and weather, not sheer size. The clash that followed would reshape European power forever. But in this imagined breach of time, the sea has a new player. A vessel born of science that Spain could not yet conceive. A modern destroyer, perhaps an Arleigh Burke-class ship, 155 meters of steel, equipped with radar that can track targets over the horizon, armed with vertical launch missiles, torpedoes, and automated naval guns. Crewed by fewer than 300 souls, yet capable of annihilating entire fleets before they ever draw near. Its engines burn diesel and gas turbines, not wind. Its navigation reads satellites, not stars. Its hull deflects radar and absorbs punishment that would crush wooden ships like reeds. And now, this vessel has fallen, somehow, into the age of Drake and Medina Sidonia, an age when thunder came from black powder, and distance was measured in the time it took for sails to fill. The stage is set. Two worlds, 4 centuries apart, meet upon the same sea. Across centuries, The contrast between the two forces is almost cosmic. The Spanish Armada, grand, visible, human, moves as a forest upon the sea. Its timbers groan, its sails swell, and its men labor in rhythm with the wind. Each decision demands time, shouting, and muscle. Orders pass by flag and drum. Every shot of cannon smoke hides the horizon in chaos. The destroyer, by contrast, is silence incarnate. Its sensors sweep the fog long before any ship appears. Its computers calculate range and trajectory faster than human thought. A single operator can unleash more firepower in 1 minute than the entire armada in an hour. The galleons of Spain were powered by nature's mercy, wind and tide. They were bound to the weather's will. The destroyer defies it. Gas turbines cut through calm or storm with equal indifference. Where the armada forms tight defensive crescents, the destroyer moves alone, a hunter in the mist. Tactically, the disparity is infinite. The Spanish cannons could reach perhaps 200 meters before losing power. The destroyer's naval guns strike targets over 30 kilometers away, and with guided precision. A harpoon missile could vaporize a galleon before its crew even sees the source of light on the horizon. Yet, the imbalance raises deeper questions. Would the destroyer's weapons, designed for steel and radar-guided threats, even recognize wooden ships as valid targets? Could its sensors, blinded by smoke and salt spray, adapt to the primitive chaos of 16th century combat? And what of logistics, when fuel, ammunition, and repairs belong to a future that does not exist here? The clash would not be one of equals, nor even of enemies. It would be a meeting between eras, the hand of the industrial future touching the wooden heart of empire. At dawn, the mist hangs low upon the channel. The Spanish Armada stretches across the horizon, dozens of galleons, their sails swollen like the lungs of a giant, moving in patient unison toward destiny. Drums echo faintly across the water. Flags rise. Orders pass. Cannons are primed with powder and prayer. Far beyond the fog, the modern destroyer awakens. Its radar hums softly, tracing the faint wooden echoes on the sea. No one aboard truly believes the readings. Hundreds of slow, wind-driven contacts where none should exist. Yet the data is clear. The past has assembled itself in Babel formation. A single command is spoken. Engage. From the ship's steel hull erupts a sound that the 16th century could never imagine. A roar that shatters the air and folds the fog upon itself. A missile streaks low across the water, a streak of light so fast it seems unreal. Seconds later, it finds a galleon. The explosion is silent before it is heard. Wood and flame, and men torn into the sea. The wave that follows rocks nearby ships, as if the ocean itself recoiled in disbelief. Panic ripples through the armada. Captains shout for wind, for formation, for God. But their world has no language for this weapon. Their cannons roar into the haze, their iron balls skipping uselessly across the water, never touching their invisible foe. The destroyer fires again, calmly, rhythmically, without malice. Each strike a clean incision in time. The sea becomes a gallery of burning relics, the horizon red with memory and loss. And then, silence returns. No victory cry, no enemy in sight, only drifting wreckage, smoke, and the hum of an engine that does not belong to this century. When the echoes fade, the channel is a graveyard. Fragments of oak drift beside oil-slicked waves. The smoke that once carried the scent of gunpowder now mingles with something older, the faint aroma of pitch, tar, and burning history. The destroyer slows its engines. The crew stands in quiet disbelief. They have witnessed not a battle, but an erasure. Centuries of shipbuilding, seamanship, and valor, undone in a morning. Had this confrontation truly occurred, it would have rewritten the foundations of war. The Spanish Armada, a fleet once called invincible, would cease to symbolize human ambition and become an exhibit of obsolescence. The destroyer's sensors would chart wrecks scattered like bones, the end of an age marked not by surrender, but by irrelevance. Even the concept of courage would feel displaced. In 1588, bravery meant standing upon wooden decks under cannon fire, trusting wind and will. In the modern age, courage hides behind circuits and radar screens, decisions made with precision rather than desperation. Such a meeting between eras would reveal a quiet cruelty in progress itself. Technology, for all its marvel, does not simply evolve, it erases. It renders entire worlds impossible, replacing them with efficiency. The Spanish captains, if they could have seen their enemy, might have mistaken it for a storm, a divine punishment sent from beyond reason. And perhaps, in a way, it would be. Not vengeance, but inevitability. By sunset, the sea would calm. The wrecks would sink into history once more. The destroyer, still humming with power, would vanish beyond the horizon. A visitor from a future that no one in 1588 could ever comprehend. History, when viewed through the quiet lens of imagination, reveals not only what was, but what could never have been. A modern destroyer, facing the Spanish Armada, is not merely a battle across centuries. It is a mirror held to human progress. Each cannon blast of 1588 carried the weight of craftsmanship, human error, and courage. Each missile launch of the modern age carries data, precision, and detachment. Between those two gestures lies the full arc of civilization, from hand to machine, from chaos to control. But progress has a cost. In every advance, something is lost. The poetry of wind on sails, the skill of reading tides, the art of command without electricity. A destroyer might dominate the sea, yet it can never replicate the spirit of men who faced storms with nothing but faith and wood. If these two eras had ever met, it would not be a victory, but a reminder. That power, no matter how absolute, cannot outlast the meaning humans attach to it. Every empire, every machine, every weapon is temporary, a bridge between ignorance and obsolescence. Perhaps that is the quiet truth hidden in this thought experiment, that history is not a competition between the old and the new, but a conversation between what we were and what we have become. The ocean keeps its secrets. Somewhere beneath its gray surface, centuries sleep side by side, galleons of oak and hulls of steel, resting in the same dark silence. Time does not judge them. It simply records. And in that silence, one can almost hear the faint echo of sails and the distant hum of turbines, merging, for a moment, into one eternal sound, period.